Alright, welcome to the video, guys. In this video I want to talk about the Boss IR-200 pedal again. So I have been using this pedal board, the IR-200, along with the Boss MS3. This is kind of my official live gigging setup. I have been using this for the past several gigs, and I really like it. And I just wanted to share my experience with this pedal board, specifically the IR-200, the problems and the solutions that I've come up with to work around those problems. So in this video, I want to talk about the specific issue of having no output level knob. So I have experiences with the Boss GT8, the GT1, and now the GT1000 Core. All of those three pedals, they have an output level knob to control the overall volume of the entire unit. Now this, the IR-200, I understand that it's not a multi-effects pedal. It's specifically an amp and cabinet simulation and IR loader. So it doesn't have an output level knob similar to what those GT series pedals has. So this is only a problem though when you are trying to connect to a return or an effects return of an amp, a combo or a stack amp, because some of those amps, once you connect to the return, the back, the front panel knobs will not function anymore. So whatever your volume is of these pedals, your setup in your pedal board, that's it. There's no way for you to control the overall output level. Because if you're connecting into the input of an amp, then you can use the knobs of the amp, so you can adjust the volume, as well as you're connecting to a mixer. There's a level knob in the mixer. But if you're connecting to a return, an effects return of an amp, then some amps don't have that feature. And you might say that why not just connect to an input of an amp or a mixer? Well, you don't want to have that limitation because this pedal is designed to have a variety of different setups to connect to different outputs. And if the effects return of a certain amp is much more desirable than an input of an amp, then you'd want to connect to that return of an amp. And just in case, you want to adjust the volume, it's very important to do that, because if you're too loud, then you might not hear your bandmates, or if you're too soft, then you cannot hear yourself. So it's important to adjust your overall level as you're playing or when you're gigging. And there's also a level knob here on the front panel of the pedal. You can adjust that. So you can increase the volume, but that's for the amp effect. So, and this is per patch. So if you want to change that, you're going to have to save the settings of that patch. Then you can go on and play. But the problem with that is, if you're using the pedal like me, I switch to different patches like this one. I'm switching to different patch. Then if I'm going to use this feature to control my overall level, then I'm going to have to save everything, every patch that I'm going to use that night. And that's too time consuming, and I don't want that. And once again, you can say, why not just use one amp or one patch in the Boss IR-200? Once again, you don't want that to be your limitation, because by default, this pedal is designed to be for you to use different patches. Because if you take a look at the two foot switches here, there's a down and an up foot switch. By default, its function is to switch to different patches. So it's kind of designed, or they're encouraging us to use different amps and patches. So the solution that I've come up with is to use the global EQ of the pedal. Now, I'm very much familiar with the global EQ because the GT1, actually all the GT series, they have the global EQ, and I actually used that a lot back in the day to shape my overall tone and overall level. And all the patches are affected since it's a global EQ. That's what it means. So all the patches internally of the unit is affected by those settings. So to access the global EQ, you press menu, then you scroll to the second page, then select system, and once again to the second page you can find the global EQ. Now there are two global EQs, as you can see, because one unique thing about the IR-200, apart from the GT series of Boss, is that it has two separate global EQs for the two separate outputs. So you can shape them however you want. You want to have a different EQ setting for one output and another EQ setting for a different output. So you can just select one of these. You can also have the option to link them. So whatever the setting is for the output A is the same as output B. So and you can also, this is another unique feature, you can select whether it's a parametric or a graphic EQ. The Boss GT series is only parametric, I think, for the global EQ. So to access the other settings of the global EQ, you just turn this knob to page right, left and right. So to turn the global EQ on, just turn this on. And if you're happy with your tone, what I would do is just adjust the level. So just in case if I'm too soft or I cannot hear myself, I want to increase my volume, then just like that, I can easily increase the volume. And these settings, they are, since they are global, they're system settings, you can just leave it as it is, then that's already saved. That's the global EQ of the pedal, and all the patches across the pedal, all the patches that you're using will be affected by this. And also another cool thing, since it's an EQ, then you can adjust the EQ settings. If you think that your mids need a boost, then you can adjust the frequency. You can adjust the frequency. I usually set the low mids to 800 hertz. So, and you can also have a high mid frequency. So, and the low and mid gain are here. So if you want it to be bright, so just I'm actually happy with the tone, so I'm just gonna leave it by default. So also if you wanna lower down your volume, you can just, in case you're too loud. So that is my solution to the output level knob lacking in the Boss IR-200. So in case you want to connect to an effects return of an amp, because it sounds better than connecting to the input of an amp or the mixer, you know, and the knobs in front are disabled, then the only way that you can adjust the overall output level is through the global EQ. And I'm not sure if there's any other way to do this, but from what I know, that's what I have. That's the solution that I found out for myself. So let me know in the comments section if I missed anything or if there's any other solutions to this problem. If you have any questions as well, leave them down in the comments section below. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching.